Yo, what up YouTube? This your boy SP the GOAT, and I'm back at y'all again with another episode of Power, Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 5. And they call this episode Penultimate, but you know how we do. We're going to remix this one and call it Crossroads, because there's no team that survived this episode, but there's an unlikely team that might form, and it looks like Rock only got a few options left on the board. But the fight for the top spot is just beginning, because there's a power vacuum with the way the episode turned out. And if you follow me to the end, I'll show you how this power vacuum gets filled and why it works and why all the crossroads lead to the same place. So you know how we do. Hit that like button, hit that hype button, and subscribe. I appreciate all the feedback, love, and support, and I love y'all back. So with that said, let's get into it. Now, the first thing we got to talk about is Team Manhattan, or what used to be Team Manhattan. So out the gate, Flossie meets with Uncle Marvin and Rock to tell them that their business together is done. We know now what story Kanan told Flossie, and it was absolutely enough to mess up Rock's business. Kanan told Flossie exactly what Rock was trying to hide from Flossie this whole time, and that was that Kanan snatched up Kirsten and spiked the federal judge's package. This is all Flossie needed to break the trust in their business relationship, because business is business. So what Kanan ultimately did was appeal to Flossie's self-interest to destroy Rock's distribution network and her hub. At the end of the meeting, Flossie tells Rock the only reason why Rock is still breathing is because of Uncle Marvin, which is a complete 180 from where we saw Flossie at the beginning when we met her. She almost couldn't stand men, but she's now ready to take the life of a fellow woman, and the only thing that's saving that woman is a man. So Flossie is complicated, to say the least. Now, one thing we have to be clear about here is that Flossie did not choose Kanan over Rock yet. Flossie chose predictability because she does not believe Rock can provide a stable business, and business owners don't like surprises. And there were a lot of surprises dealing with Rock in a short 4 to 5 week period. Now, Pino Bernardi fading Rock's action was short, sweet, and to the point. He told Rock that their business deal is done and she had no more protection in Manhattan. So there goes Rock's protection with Pino, and there goes her supply hub and distribution network with Flossie. Last episode, she lost her horse and her snowflake suppliers, so Rock's business is finished. But Rock, at this point in time, is still in denial about her position in the game. So when she tells Uncle Marvin to wrap up Kanan and bring him to her so she can have one last talk with Kanan, like that's going to do something. This just shows how weak Rock is at the moment, because she's not ignoring the one thing she can't have in this world, and that's a normal, real relationship with Kanan. That ship has sailed. So the next time we see Rock, she gets scooped up by the FBI and she's put in the office where she finds out she's been under investigation for months. The FBI knows about the property transfer when she sold the plaza, and she made that for an investor who bought the plaza a really good deal. Now, this is important here that the buyer is on the Joint Terrorism Task Force, and he's on the watch list, because you only get there in a few ways. And one of the ways that makes sense for this show is for the buyer to ask about chemical, biological, or radioactive materials. Now, certain chemicals are used to make drugs like ether, and that's used in the process of making the drug of choice of this series. And just asking about chemicals can get you put on the list. So it looks like the buyer might be some type of drug dealer or somewhere in the drug manufacturing business that Rock might need down the line. But who is it? We don't know at this point. But the FBI also told Rock that they have information on her meeting with Pino Bernardi and Stefano Marchetti. But in true Rock fashion, she tries to play Billy Badstad. Her new lawyer tells her that the feds have the money trail, so she's cooked unless she gives the feds information about Stefano and the Italian mob like Tanner asked her. So the feds showed their power through using selective honesty to see how Rock is going to react to this information. but they also gave her a little bit of generosity by extending another plea deal to her. But if you remember, Rock has a get out of jail free card from the FBI since season 4, episode 9, when her last lawyer, Andre, told her that the feds saw Marvin meeting with Stefano on several occasions. So Rock, not believing that the feds have anything on her, goes out to try to find another connect. So she goes and talks to Tremont, and Tremont did exactly what everybody thought he would. Tremont tells her that when the Project Rock gets greenlit and she gets indexed, he is going to piss on her grave. And you know what? For what she did to him in that pool, I couldn't disagree with him. But she also went to go see Vanessa's mom, Wanda. And Wanda definitely threatened Rock and said she needs to get away from her because Rock is about to find out what getting fired from her job in streets really looks like. My theory for Rock at this point is one of two things. Either Unique is going to get the bat signal because Vanessa's mom is going to pass on the information. He's going to come back to New York and help her out of her situation. Or, hear me out, or Rock is going to snitch on Stefano and go into WITSEC. Now, the next domino to fall in Team Manhattan was none other than Uncle Marvin. And I owe y'all one because I wanted Uncle Marvin to go to jail. They say that there's only a few ways out of the game, and it's either to leave it alone like Unique did, or you go in the pine box, or you go in the prison box. And for all the progress that we've seen Marvin make from season 1 to now, I really was hoping for Uncle Marvin to survive this entire thing, even if he was in a jail cell. But it seems like the only survivor right now from Team Manhattan is Rock, Pino, and Flossie. When you first see Uncle Marvin, you could tell something was about to happen because he's laying in his bed contemplating life after beating Kanan so bad. And in true Uncle Marvin fashion, he kept giving Rock the blues about how Rock is playing herself, being okay with murking other people's kids, but not okay with taking matters into her own hands and handling this mess she created with Kanan. And the next time we see Uncle Marvin, he's trying to console Jukebox after the meeting with Garcia, since Garcia let them know that the cops know Marvin took out Amber's foster family and they were getting close to an arrest. So Marvin's trying to play it cool, but Jukebox can tell that Marvin is scared, knowing that he is 9 times out of 10 going to jail for indexing those 2 foster parents. But Marvin, being the gangster that he is, went to try to get Kanan from Bree's hideout because Rock asked him to. And he found himself in a standout with Breeze, and it did not go good. So when Uncle Marvin gets back to Rock, he has a final moment of morality with her, and he points out both of their flaws and basically tells Rock that she didn't plan all the way to the end when it comes to Kanan and how she decided to put him in the game. But she never thought about how she was going to handle Kanan if he went rogue. It's kind of like how some people are excited about AI, but they don't think about it when it goes rogue, like Kanan is right now, and Kanan is messing up the game. But he learned it from Rock. But in Uncle Marvin's final moment of clarity, he gave some money and a note to the pastor in church for Jukebox. But Marvin got caught lacking a couple of moments later, and in his final moment, he tells Kanan the truth, that Kanan ain't shit and he ain't never gonna be shit. And he gave him the Laces speech 17 years before Kanan met Laces. And sometimes I wonder if OG Kanan thought about this when Laces is hitting him with the Cymbalta commercial. But it was in this moment that Uncle Marvin stopped trying to save Kanan. Every conversation before this had hope for Kanan, but this conversation had finality to it. So Kanan put 3 of them in Uncle Marvin's chest and indexed Project Marvin. According to wishes of Snaps and Pop, the green light is now off for Uncle Marvin. And the only thing left now is for Breeze to handle Rock. And when Jukebox finds out about this, her transformation will be complete. But it's just getting to the final stages for Jukebox. My theory on this is that when Jukebox finds out this is how Kanan gets his scar on his neck and why she decides to move to DC and become a cop, which is something that Kanan absolutely despises. But as for Team Manhattan, Their business is officially done. So the next team to dissolve is Team Independent, with Detective Garcia leading the charge. Garcia meets with the FBI and spikes the investigation into Baptiste's self-deletion, and he uses his reputation to do that. Knowing that he's the cleanest officer in the precinct, what Detective Garcia does is he closes the loop into Captain Baptiste being a dirty cop into the precinct. While it might not stop the investigation completely into Baptiste and whether he was dirty, it will stop any investigation into Detective Garcia. And if we're being honest, it's probably the same mistake that Baptiste made in his transition from being a clean cop into being a dirty one, trying to protect each other as police. But when Garcia goes to meet with Jukebox and Uncle Marvin, he tells them that he finds out that the police know Marvin was the trigger man in indexing Amber's foster family, and it was only a matter of time before the police came to wrap up Marvin. So he tells Marvin to stay clear and out of his way, and Detective Garcia will do the same. And just like with Rock, Pino, and Flossie, Garcia tells Marvin and Jukebox that their business is officially done because it served their purpose. The purpose of the team was to find out who greenlit Project Famous, and they did. It was Snaps and Pop. The second objective was to protect Jukebox's family. As far as Detective Garcia, he did. So Team Independent and the mission for Team Independent is over. So we can what Jukebox found out from Garcia and how Kanan reacted to it. So when Jukebox tells Kanan that it was Snaps and Pop that greenlit Project Famous, Kanan didn't even react, meaning that Kanan is way further gone than we think he is at this point. Jukebox tells Kanan she's going forward with Project Snaps and Pops whether she's with him or not. Kanan tries to act tough about it, but Jukebox hit him with the reality stick and called him a make-believe gangster because of what he did to Uncle Lou. Now the next time we see Jukebox, she let her guard down with Uncle Marvin, telling him that she needs Uncle Marvin to stay alive, and she's doing this as she sees Uncle Marvin cleaning all the that he has in the house. Jukebox at this point is probably thinking that Uncle Marvin is going to greenlight Amber to save the family, but in reality, he's going to get Kanan from Breeze's hideout so Rock can try to talk to him once again like that's going to work. And when they hug, you can tell that Marvin is sensing that something is off. Now anytime you see somebody tool up like this, they're about to go to war. And it was at this moment you could tell that Jukebox was becoming more and more like Marvin throughout this season. You see, Marvin finishes what he starts. He went into anger management, he pushed through it, and made actual change. Marvin became a problem solver, figuring things out when things got tough this season. Even when he made the mistakes, he still followed through. He protected the family while carrying the emotional weight while doing it, unlike Rock. You see, Rock treated both her brothers like they were pieces to move on a chessboard and threw emotional weight on them, bringing up Marvin's past with the bid while he was doing drugs and going to jail, and then also with Lou, telling Lou that she owned him, and they became more and more like pieces. And as the show went on, you saw Marvin become this moral beacon. He became more and more efficient at telling Rock what she was doing wrong. Maybe if he had done this earlier, maybe he could have saved everything, but he was probably still in his feelings from what Rock said to him. Jukebox has been inheriting this efficiency in getting things done, finishing what she started, and also protecting the family. You could see that in her fingerprints forming Team Independent in the first place. The entire purpose was to solve the issue of Project Famous and the green light that was put on him. That's done and that's finished. While she thought she was protecting Kanan while carrying the emotional weight, she found out she was wrong when she brought the news to Kanan and he didn't care. But she carried that weight anyway, and she's carrying it forward when she goes to do what needs to be done with Snaps and Pops. Now let's be clear, it's a stretch to say that Jukebox becomes a moral beacon, seeing how she turned out in OG Power. But we do know that she's recreating herself right in front of our eyes, because when Aisha comes back into the picture, Aisha wanted to be with Laverne, but Aisha found Jukebox in rare form. And when Aisha goes to Kanan to let him know Jukebox was on some other, she gets the same by Aisha treatment. And now we get into the moment of truth where Jukebox confronts Snaps and Pops. and she didn't let them say too much. She went out there, handled her business, and got justice for Famous. And Jukebox transformation at this point is almost complete. But the next time we see Jukebox, she's at Aunt Rock's house telling Rock that she knows that Rock didn't greenlight Project Famous. She's not telling Rock because she wants Rock to have peace. This is because Jukebox is closing her emotional accounts before she becomes the Jukebox we know in OG Power. Let me explain. Kanan's account was just closed last episode when Jukebox told Kanan that he wasn't shit. And she just closed Aisha's account when she told Aisha to get out. But then she closed her account with Aunt Rock telling Rock that Jukebox knows it was not Rock that greenlit Project Famous. And even earlier in the episode, she closed her account with Uncle Marvin with that long hug. She's literally recreating herself right now in front of our eyes. And you can tell this by the way she indexed Project Snaps and Pops. She took her time with it. Cool, calm, collected, no talk, straight to the point, no persuasion, no mind changing. It was going to be what Jukebox came to do. And while that might wrap up what happened with Team Independent, it leaves a big hole in Team Queens, and how Team Queens becomes a lot less more valuable to Stefano and Hafiz. So when Jukebox indexed Project Snaps and Pop, it left a power vacuum at the top of Team Queens. While Stefano was the protection and Breeze and Kanan were the operation, Snaps and Pop were the supply and the money. So with Snaps and Pop out of the way, Stefano, Kanan, and Breeze have no way to get product. Hafiz has horse, but they don't know where they're getting their snowflakes from at this point because they just indexed Joaquin. So whatever snowflakes they had at the time were coming from Snaps and Pop. But now that Snaps and Pops is indexed, that business is no longer operational. Team Queen's new recruit, Hafiz, is looking weak in the alliance because of what Rock and Uncle Marvin just did to his right-hand man. Stefano tries to console Hafiz and keep him in the loop, and he tells Hafiz that he's going to take care of Rock and Uncle Marvin because he's got a green light on him. But when Breeze meets with Snaps and Pop to get the official green light on Project Rock and Project Marvin, Breeze was not okay with their plan for Kanan to deal with Rock personally, but he said less than necessary to keep Snaps and Pop off of his trail. So Breeze connects with Kanan at the shop, and he tells Kanan about his move on Flossie and asks him why Kanan didn't tell him. But Kanan disarms Breeze and infuriates him by doing exactly what Breeze does: execute plans and then not tell the other person until the plan is done, like what Breeze did with his plan to meet with Rock. But this isn't Kanan's first time doing it. The first time was Kanan's plan to scoop up Kristen and spike the package for the federal judge. So now we know where this pattern comes from in the Power universe. But really, it all started with Rock pulling moves and then calling everyone else in to clean up the mess that Rock started. In the planning, Breeze tells Kanan that Kanan is taking Marvin, but Kanan can't seem too happy about this because Kanan is appealing to Snaps and Pop's interests because they want to see if he's still dedicated. So Kanan tells Breeze that he wants to take Rock even though you could see in his face he's uncomfortable with it. Ultimately, Kanan chose Marvin, and the green light on Rock and Marvin is a go. But if you watch the scene closely, you'll see that to avoid telling Breeze that he's too soft to take out his mom, just like his mom is too soft to take him out, he uses bait to bring Snaps and Pops to him by telling Breeze that he knows Snaps and Pops were the people that indexed Famous. And this is the first set of cracks that you could start to see in Team Queens, especially since Breeze and Kanan are brothers. And you can tell by Breeze's reaction when Kanan says, "Yo, them old people," that he's down with the plan. Remember, Breeze's whole agenda is to move all the OGs off the board because he wants the top spot in Queens. So when Snaps and Pops finally do press Kanan about his theory on Project Famous, they try to tell him that it wasn't them, but they keep pressing him on taking Rock, and Kanan doesn't commit to them because his trauma won't let him rely on anybody else but himself. But that doesn't mean he can't still use Snaps and Pops to take a swing at Rock, even if he doesn't do it in real life. But just in case anybody forgot, Breeze is an absolute psychopath that loves to pump iron in the streets. In the shootout with Uncle Marvin and crew, he wipes the floor with the entire crew, and Uncle Marvin escapes with his life. But that's short-lived because Snaps and Pops fire Breeze. And they fire Breeze the next day because while Breeze was having a shootout with Uncle Marvin, Shane and Glenn got popped with the pills in their trunk and started singing to the feds. And those are the same two Italian kids that got their pills from Kanan, and before that, they got their pills from Taz. So Snaps and Pops want to replace Breeze and Queens, but it's clear they don't have a replacement. But before they could even get to the people they need to replace Breeze, Jukebox Index Project Snaps and Project Pops, leaving that power vacuum in Queens. So now it's important to point out that I promised y'all some payoff in the end, and here it is. So now that we know that there's a power vacuum in Manhattan and a power vacuum in Queens right now because both teams Queens and Manhattan suppliers are off the boards, both operations are in the drain. But what if there's some way that both Queens and Manhattan could unify? While Snaps and Pop are off the board and Rock has no business, Breeze and Kanan still have supply on the pills and the horse. Team Manhattan has no supply, but it still has a network. Team Independent has no network and no supply, but it has a nice introduction from Queens to supply Manhattan. So, what's the next logical thing now that Jukebox has nobody holding her back from becoming what we saw in OG Power? You guessed it, Jukebox takes Flossie and Pino's protection and pushes the pills and horse with Flossie because Flossie is mad with Rock, but she still has a soft spot for Uncle Marvin, who just got indexed, and Jukebox is Marvin's daughter, who Flossie just told Marvin to bet the house on. So while Flossie doesn't like Kanan after he broke into her apartment, Jukebox can always introduce Flossie to Breeze, who is actually supplying the pills for her club and the girls and the horse if they can keep Hookies on board. This way, Queens gets their network from Manhattan, Manhattan gets their upscale pills from Queen, Jukebox finally gets the money she always was looking for, Breeze finally gets to sit at the table with the Italian like the big boys, like a boss, and Kanan, well, Kanan still has to figure out his issues with Rock. And just like that, the union is in the building, people. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Kanan, Breeze, and Jukebox are the original three, and they link up to run Queens and Manhattan. And it's all thanks to Jukebox, Marvin's daughter, for opening up Cafe Vu and Flossie's clubs to Breeze's pills and getting her money. But will Rock take out Stefano, or will Stefano take out Rock before Rock goes into Witsay? We don't know yet, but let's find out in the series finale next week. Alright y'all, that's the episode. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Leave your comments, concerns, complaints, moans, groans, and frustrations all in the comments below, and I will read them one by one. Thank you, I appreciate y'all for supporting, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Gone.
Too easy.